Hi, my name is Sam and I'm the Grand Prospirator of corporate learning. One of my great loves is drinking tea. And when you start to talk about drinking tea and the connoisseurship of tea, you will necessarily bring up the topic of tea brewing vessels. And in my case, one of my favorite tea brewing vessels is the Yixing clay teapot. These all come from China, and Yixing clay has some very unique properties which make it a great tea brewing vessel. One of those properties is its porousness. The porousness actually comes from the very rich and diverse kind of rocks or different minerals inside this clay that allow for an exchange of air between what's actually inside and outside, but at the same time also trapping and keeping heat inside the teapot. Another thing that you're going to notice is that when I look at these teapots and I kind of test this lid on it, you'll hear a different kind of pitch for each teapot. And this actually has a lot to do with how they've been fired. In my case, with these three teapots that I've recently purchased, they're all what we consider low-fired kind of teapots. And low-fired teapots are generally thicker and they're more suitable for brewing non-aromatic kind of teas like pours, which in my case is what I'm using them for. You also have high fired teapots, and generally they're thinner and they're used for more delicate teas like your green teas or potentially your oolong teas. Another thing that you're going to find when you actually purchase for the first time one of the teapots is that inside the teapot you may find kind of particles of clay or some sediment or particles. So you see some clay there, and you'll even sometimes see kind of a whitish kind of powder, which is actually just remnants from the whole firing process. And this, like, in terms of seasoning the teapot, one of the important things is to ensure that some of these impurities have been removed from the teapot and the pores of the teapot are cleared up. I'm going to show you that now. So what I've done now is I've put on a boiling pot of water and I have put in just a towel into the base so that it protects the teapots when I put them in. I've also kind of kept some tea leaves, some used tea leaves of the pu'er, which I'm planning to use my teapot for. And I'm going to throw this pu'er, these used tea leaves, into the pot. I'm going to bring everything to a boil once I put in my teapot. So I'm just going to put in my teapot gently into here now. And I'm going to also put the lid in. And let's just do a second. Here I have a second teapot that I'm going to put in. Just going to make sure that they're sitting nicely on the bottom. Let's get all the leaves in. I'm just going to bring it up to a boil. And then set it to medium once it's come up to a boil. It's at low heat. Okay, starting to come to a boil. I'm just going to put it on low now and leave it there for 30 minutes as it continues boiling. It'll get rid of some of the sediments and as well as clear up some of the pores. So the teapots have been boiling for about half an hour now, and what I'm going to do is I am going to take it out carefully, and chopsticks really help. And so this is the process for seasoning or preparing your teapot for its first use. You can actually repeat this process each time you want to switch tea leaves. So for example, let's say I've been using a teapot for a number of years and I've been brewing pu'er in it, but let's say all of a sudden I want to change it to use for oolong. I can use the same process, except I would use oolong tea leaves in the seasoning process.